Today we're going to be talking about that 10th house and how it relates to each sign of the zodiac. Okay? For those of y'all that's checking in for the first time, welcome to my humble abode day. My name is Rainy Storm Crew, aka Rainy Storm. And for those of y'all that's checking in, again, what it is, what's up, y'all be sure to like, share, comment, and describe. Like, share, comment down below. Let me know what's going on in the 10th house, what is playing out in your own personal 10th house, and how you resonate with your 10th house in those comments down below. And subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when it is that I post, okay? So we're going to go ahead and hop right into it. Personal readings also, too, if you would like to explore more about your 10th house and how it relates to the rest of your chart as well, if you are wanting to explore other themes within your personal chart and things as well. Now, we're going to go ahead and start off with what the zodiac signs of the house. So the 10th house, if you haven't checked out the video already previously, before that we looked at the origins, the root work. This talks about the top of the highest point of the chart, right, is the 10th house. This is where you can see your overall, the highest tip, the grand mission, vision, the legacy that you are here to leave behind in this personal lifetime. Now, a lot of times in modern astrology, facing social status, reputation, things like that, systems, also too, you can root work space. This is where you can see ancestry. This is where you can see basically passing down the flame or the crown. See regality. We can see ancestor lineages as well here too. Ritual rites, public facing. Things like that you can see with the 10th house. But it is very public. It is very on the scene. Usually people will probably see you for this, especially in like your field and your life's work, really, before you get to that 11th house, which we will get to soon. Now, when you have Aries in the 10th house, right, this lesson that we will learn specifically in root work astrology will be claiming your authority, all right? Leading from instinct. Aries is the instinct. It's the first sign of the zodiac, and it's fire, it's cardinal fire on top of that. And Aries is the one that's going to take initiative first, right? And in all of his endeavors, this is where you can see the pioneer, right? In this space, you can see someone who's not afraid to be the first, and not just to say that they are the first, but they're not afraid to do things differently, say the thing that everybody else don't want to say. Like it's very bold action, and you are taking the authority over your life, your world, the things that you want to do in this life, and you go at it with full force. It's Martian ruled, you know what I'm saying, for better or for worse with this Aries energy. Now, the evolutionary energy that we can see here is, like I said, kind of becoming a pioneer that people want to kind of follow after. You could become like a trailblazer and whatever it is that you got going on with your life. You start the flame, people see the flame and they follow the flame and then be like, damn, I'm kind of interested in what's going on here too. I'm trying to see what that be like what's good, you feel me, with this Aries energy. Now, the shadow traits that you can see with this 10th house Aries is impulsiveness, the need of control, and also fear of being overlooked. Now, personally, with Aries is going to do, not personally, but in my eyes, I see Aries is not really caring about too much of what people have to say. They're just going to kind of do it, but sometimes it can become a little bit of bulldozy in this particular area of the chart. You can see what is it called, tyranny, like people who are like dictatorships and things like that under this Aries Martian energy. Depending on how you spin it, it's like this shadow. Now, impulsiveness, in a degree, there's nothing wrong with impulsiveness. I think it's just how you frame the impulsiveness, right? Is the impulsiveness in a space where, for example, you're putting a group of people in harm's way, because you're more worried about your own gains than other people's, or other people's livelihoods. Now, livelihoods meaning, or lives, I should say, within it. Now, there's a risk, and I would say with Aries energies is that there's always risk associated with this Aries energy, and Aries is usually going to take it, right? But I think it's just about finding that balance, which you can look to your other energy, which is Libra, or the other side of the coin, which is the Librian energy, to know when is the time to delegate, or when is the time to mediate, or when is the time to kind of maybe ponder the decisions versus like rolling on full speed ahead, not thinking about or giving a shit about what anybody says. Not every single time, but there's just sometimes where you have to, push the needle a little bit. You got to balance the needle, I should say, a little bit with this Aries energy. Now, you'll see is a root word in the herbal sense would be the High John, fire rituals. You can also see this with your Mercury as well. When we're talking about like communing and different rituals, altar work as well here too. Physical activity, staying physically fit as well, and also supporting your vitality, your energy, and adrenaline support. Now, legacy, life path, takeaway that you can get from this is this fearlessness action that you take in pursuits on your life, in the life that you want to lead. It opens a gateway for other people to do the same, right? You teach bravery through your own leadership and not looking around waiting for anybody else to really join you in those pursuits. All right, so if you are Aries, if you do have Aries in the 10th house, let me know in the comments down below, how do you resonate with this particular area of your chart? Now, Taurus in the 10th house, this root work lesson that you learning here is building sacred stability and abundance, right? This is Venusian energy. This is the Taurus energy. It's the first earth. It's the foundation of the ground. It's the foundation of the house, the home, physically or spiritually, right? So it's building something solid that can last for quite literally generations at a time, all right? So the evolutionary task that you're tasked with specifically is becoming a steward of beauty, also the land as well. This is where we talk about resources and we talk about lineage wealth. Now, resources does not necessarily have to be money, although Taurus Venusian energy does have to do with money. Libra too. All right, but we are talking about the resources that you have available to you and being a steward of whatever that is. Whether it's land material that you can use to build a house, right? Plants that you can use to plant to feed the village, right? Is being a steward of that. And Taurus, because usually it takes a longer time for Taurus to act or a longer time for Taurus to move. This is something that happens slowly but surely. It's not something that you need or have to rush. It takes time to build with this Taurus. So if you feel yourself wanting to rush, or if you feel yourself wanting to speed up and do things like, okay, well, I need to get this, hold your horses, okay? You just need a little bit of extra time with this particular energy here. You don't have to go in at guns a-blazing. Now, when we talk about the holistic response to this, you can use things like honey, rose, cinnamon. This also helps for the kidneys, stamina as well, because Taurus, it's the bull, right? So you're going to need a lot of it, especially when you're securing this 10th house energy. And also throat health, because Taurus rules the throat. So in the ways in which you're communicating your ideas, you're speaking, your voice reaches the people. These are the ways that you, especially honey. The cinnamon, I feel like, is like the fire for the voice, and also abundance, because it speaks to abundance as well. But the honey helps soothe the voice, right? The speaking voice here. Now with Gemini in the 10th house, the root word lesson is your voice is your power. You are a master communicator. I'll even like to call you the gift of gab with, Gemini in the 10th house, right? So using your voice as a conduit, right? As a diviner, as a messenger, says Gemini in the 10th house, right? We can also see this evolutionary task to be sharing knowledge, stories, and wisdom publicly, on a public spirit. This is where you can see things like journalism, video journalism, audio journalism, broadcasting as well, different types, also unconventional types of broadcasting as well. Anything that has to do like with web design, web uh, storytelling as well is another Gemini thing. Things through music, art, things with the hands, right? Building, all kind of things that Gemini also can get into here. So I see some 8th house, Moon and Jupiter in the 8th house. Somebody just said. Now, some shadow traits with the Gemini energy sometimes can lead to inconsistency because, sometimes Gemini is a curious cat. So it could be a little bit inconsistent. I wouldn't necessarily go to say more so scattered. I just think that Gemini has a combination of many interests, and there's an energy of needing to explore those interests. So you might not necessarily be in a path where you're just doing one thing, but it might, especially if you have like a path that is maybe leading you or lending to your voice, you might just become a little confuddled in many things instead of the thing that like being that conduit, that Geminian energy. And also fear of speaking up, especially because Gemini is the energy that you're like stepping publicly into. You could even struggle with communicating your ideas like publicly, to a grand audience and things. It's not something that necessarily always comes naturally to you. This is something that you learn over time to embrace with the 10th house. So that's something that you can see here. Now, when we talk about the holistic responses to this house, we can see Bailey's, which is a form of communication, especially when you're doing work. All right, this is also where we see the lung, nervous energy. And then anything that has to do with mental clarity, herbs, the first thing that comes to mind is lavender, right? It's beautiful. And also mint is another one, or peppermint are really good herbs to work with, especially when you need like mental clarity here. Now, when we talk about the legacy, the life purpose, and things like that, you can become a storyteller, a bridge builder, and someone who even carries like archival material and wisdom from ancient relics, old stories, ancient stories and things that have been passed down. And not necessarily your generation, like your family line, but other people's family line as well. You could be a phenomenal storyteller if you would just allow yourself to tell the story, Gemini. Dang, get out there and speak like you were out here meant to do. You feel me? Now, when you have Cancer in the 10th house, okay? This root work lesson, as you'll see here, is caring and nurturing your gifts, right? Nurture and care are your gifts, right? Speaking from the heart, speaking from your emotions that I know this world tries to crush you into thinking that you're not supposed to do. And I know sometimes we condense even Cancer to children or the children's space, but this can even be projects, babies projects that you come up with as well too, that invoke emotions within people. When you invoke emotions in people, that's the thing that gets them to act, not logic. Logic, facts. You could spend a logic facts, but the thing that is going to get people is the emotions, because people want to connect. People are searching to be connected, are the things. I would even say your power in this particular house here. Channeling ancestral support as well here too. Spiritually, a lot of times what you can see is very highly protected, right? This is like high priestess energy with Cancer here specifically, usually. Now, the evolutionary task that we could see, the evolutionary calling that we can see here is family, transforming your family, your lineage, your emotional lineage wounds also into public healing. So the things you have been through, the things that you've experienced with your family, with your lineage, your roots, right? Because Cancer is the roots, even home, physical home, external world, and expressing this. And it doesn't necessarily have to be you speaking through a public stage. This is like what I like to think of like filmmakers, right? People, for example, people who tell stories through film, and then again, it touches people. People get a visceral reaction from hearing your story or hearing or seeing the films that you come up with and things like that. It's, for some reason, I don't know why I'm thinking about Michael Jackson. I know he was a Pisces rising, but I think of the way, the influence that Michael Jackson had on people when, he was performing around the world, and like the emotions that it would invoke in people, and not just him performing, but even his mind, and how he thought, and the things that he was interested in and stuff like that. Just, what I'm saying. So things like this you can see here. Now, when we talk about the shadow traits, we can see a little bit of overprotectiveness, even clinging to the past. Nostalgia definitely rules Cancer as well here too. It doesn't allow you to fully step into that public role, right? Or public calling, here with this Cancerian energy, because you're clinging too deeply onto the past. And a lot of times, especially Cancer and Scorpio here, want to hide. They try to hide, right? The crab tries to go into the shell. The Scorpio doesn't want to be seen. Like, so it can be like pulling teeth sometimes to try to, get this Cancerian energy to actually be out and about in this particular area of the chart. Clinginess and now emotional reactiveness. Sometimes it's not allowing people to get under your, not allowing other people to get under your skin. Okay, not allowing other people to get under your skin, or being triggered and traumatized by the outside world that pushes you back into your shell, is kind of like what I'm getting at here. So this is some of the shadow traits that we can see here. Now, when we talk about a holistic perspective, this is where you can see water therapy. So I would honestly say Cancer in the 10th house, if you can live by water, be by water, do work with water, this is probably the best thing for you. And if you can't be by water specifically, this is like pouring a glass, taking, showers, or bathing in, water and things like that, like submerging yourself in the tub, like really allowing your body to be like, sucked up by the water and water energy here. Moon water, making sure that you're taking care of your digestive system, chest support, and any types of calming herbs. Like I said, with the Geminian energy, you can definitely see this here with like lavender, peppermints. I would even say for you eucalyptus, because that's also coming up for you as well here too. I don't know why I'm getting like lemongrass. That's another thing that's coming up specifically for Cancer as well here too. Now, life takeaway, like purpose takeaways, you can see that your public standing, or just like how you're outwardly facing, provides safe spaces for people and emotional nourishment. Like, these are places and spaces that people can feel at home, at ease, and they're able to let their guard down and express their emotional things. There are emotional things that maybe that they're going through, that maybe you've created something that really touches them, for them to be able to heal. Okay, so that's what I have for you, Cancer. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Now, for Leo in the 10th house, this root work lesson is to be able to shine authentically, all right, in the fullness of what you are and what you do, all right. Leading through creative expression as well here too, like that being the first thing that you lead with, right, in your public pursuits, right, in your full-on scope of your vision and the legacy that you're leaving behind into the world, because it inspires others to do the same. You know what I mean? Now, the evolutionary that you are tasked with in this particular life is to inspire others by leading with courage and also self-worth, right? This is the confidence to stand in that shine, 10 toes down, right? And not allowing anybody to knock you off your block, right? You being, and not necessarily what we like to call the Leo in an egoic way, because it's not about that. It's more so about like really being in the fullness of yourself and not giving a damn what anybody has to say about that. Not shifting or bending or seeking validation from people outside of you to really live that in full. You know what I mean? That's what I see with this 10th house energy for Leo. Now, shadow traits you could see here is having too much pride, right? Needing that validation or seeking the validation in that way, or fear of being visible, right, or being invisible, like there could be this fear, right, of being seen, being heard, but then you also feel on the other side of it that nobody is actually really seeing you here, so it's finding not necessarily a healthy balance, but just like I said, standing 10 toes down, okay, in this energy where you're able to express those creative, to really just shine in the fullness of, like I said, who you actually are. um, Now, the holistic arena that we see here is sunflowers, gold, whether it's you wearing gold or obtaining some type of gold, cinnamon, any type of things that have to do with open heart support, right? Leading from an open heart.